Emma knew the ground was coming for her before she even felt it, but nothing prepared her for the sound that followed. As she slipped on the porch step and hit the wooden edge hard, she heard her granddaughter Lily laughing, not with surprise but with amusement. The pain in her hip was sharp, but the sting of that laughter cut far deeper. "Grandma, seriously?" Lily said, her phone already lifted, recording everything. Emma lay there for a moment, palms scraped, skirt twisted, trying to catch her breath. She whispered to herself, "Lord help me," before slowly pushing herself up while Lily giggled behind the camera. "Hold on, this is going to go viral," Lily said, angling her phone like a professional. Emma stared at her, unable to find any words. At her age, silence was sometimes the only shield left. Inside, the house welcomed her with its familiar quiet, a quiet she had grown used to ever since her son Mark and his wife decided her presence was optional. Lily pushed past her in the hallway, wiping tears of laughter from her eyes. "You should have seen your face, Grandma," she said without looking back. Emma lowered herself into the armchair, gripping it as her hip throbbed with a dull ache. The house felt colder as Lily clattered around the kitchen, humming loudly and without care. Emma listened to the refrigerator door slam, cups hitting the counter, footsteps moving without purpose. She closed her eyes, remembering when Lily used to say, "Sorry, Grandma," after making a mess, back when apologies had meaning. When the noise finally settled, Emma leaned forward to inspect her knee. A thin line of blood trickled toward her sock. "Nothing serious," she murmured. But at 77, even small bruises felt like reminders that the body has limits no one can outrun. She heard Lily again, this time on a call. "Yeah, I got it on video," Lily said proudly. "No, seriously," she went down like boom. The laughter on the other end mixed with Lily's, sounding like children poking a stray cat just to see it jump. Emma stared at the family photos on the wall. Lily at 8 holding a seashell. Lily in her graduation gown. And Emma beside her, holding flowers she paid for. "Kindness never makes the camera roll," Emma whispered. Her leg pulsed again, but the deeper ache was the realization that her granddaughter didn't check if she was hurt. Lily wandered into the living room, leaning against the doorway with her gum popping. "Grandma, don't be weird about it." "It's just a video," she said with a lazy shrug. "Is it?" Emma asked softly. Lily rolled her eyes, the same way her mother often did. "You're being dramatic." Emma said nothing. She watched Lily disappear upstairs again, the lights left on behind her, doors left open as always. Emma sat there long after, listening to the house breathe around her. Somewhere between the ticking clock and her slow breaths, she realized this moment wasn't small. It was a wound reaching somewhere deep. Emma leaned back in her chair, breathing slowly, the way her therapist once taught her after a previous fall. But this one felt different. This one carried a message she couldn't ignore. Upstairs, Lily's music thumped loudly, shaking the ceiling with careless beats. Emma whispered, "When did you become this, child?" But the empty room gave no answer. She tried to rise, wincing as her hip clicked. No one came to help. No one even asked if she was all right. Later that night, Emma heard Lily laughing again, this time on a video call. Even through the closed door, she could make out the tone. "I swear, she fell like a sack of flour," Lily said. "Hold on, I'll send it." Emma's throat tightened. She had not even waited an hour before turning her pain into a joke for strangers. Emma looked at the hallway pictures again, pausing at the one where Lily hugged her tightly at age 16. "Thank you, Grandma," the girl had whispered that day. But now that memory felt like it belonged to someone else entirely. Emma walked slowly to the staircase and touched the railing, imagining how differently things could have gone. "What if I hadn't gotten up?" she murmured. She limped to the living room and sat again, letting the silence wrap around her. "Is this what family becomes?" she whispered into the dim light. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from a cold truth settling into her bones. Sometimes the smallest moment, like a phone raised instead of a hand offered, was enough to change everything. By morning, the bruise on Emma's knee had darkened into a deep purple bloom. She made tea, trying to ignore the stiffness in her leg. The kettle felt heavier than usual. Notifications buzzed on her phone one after another. When she picked it up, a message blinked on the screen. "Mrs. Green, are you okay? I saw the video." Emma froze. "What video?" she whispered, though her heart already knew. With trembling hands, she tapped the link and watched her own fall replayed for hundreds of strangers. Emma stared at the comments beneath the video, each one cutting deeper than the bruise on her knee. Why didn't the old woman use the railing? Send Part 2. Another wrote, who films their grandma falling? Emma pressed her hand against the counter until her fingers whitened. Dear God, she whispered, what have they done? Just then, Lily came downstairs, cheerful and unaware. Grandma, guess what? The video hit 30,000 views, she said proudly. Emma turned to her with quiet disbelief. Lily didn't notice. She was already laughing at her phone. Emma turned away from Lily's excitement, unable to hide the pain spreading across her chest. Lily, she said softly, why would you post something like that? Lily frowned, surprised at Emma's tone. Because it's funny, Grandma. People post funny things. That's how the internet works. Emma studied her granddaughter's face, searching for the girl she once knew. You could have helped me, she said. Lily rolled her eyes. I knew you were fine. But the truth was simple, Lily never checked. When Lily refused to delete the video, Emma felt something shift inside her, a quiet strength that had slept for years. Please, Emma said, take it down. Lily pulled her arm away sharply. No way. You're being dramatic again. The word again struck Emma harder than the fall. She walked past Lily, steadying herself on the table, not from weakness but from control. Upstairs, Lily called after her, don't worry, Grandma. You'll get used to the attention. Emma closed her bedroom door slowly. No, she whispered. I won't. The next morning, Emma could feel the bruise throbbing beneath her skirt, but her mind felt clearer than it had in years. She sat at her desk and opened a drawer filled with documents she hadn't touched in a long time. Bills she paid for Mark. Tuition receipts for Lily. Down payments, loans, grocery allowances. Paper remembers when people forget, her late husband used to say. She touched the folder gently. For the first time, she wasn't looking at burdens. She was looking at proof. As she sifted through the papers, Emma felt the sting of old memories. Nights she stayed up helping Mark with bills. Days she drove Lily to her activities. Years she gave without asking anything in return. Each page whispered the same truth. Her kindness had become invisible to the people she loved most. Upstairs, Lily laughed again with her friends, the same bright, careless tone. Emma breathed deeply, letting the disappointment settle. Enough, she whispered. It's time to stop pretending I'm not hurt. Emma reached for her phone and scrolled through her contacts until she found a number she hadn't used in years. Arthur Hill, an old family attorney, patient and honest. Her thumb hovered only a moment before she pressed call. He answered gently. Emma? This is a surprise. She swallowed hard. Arthur. I need advice. In a shaking voice, she told him about the fall, the laughter, the video, and the years of quiet neglect. Arthur listened without interrupting. When she finished, he said softly, Emma, you've been hurting alone for too long. Arthur cleared his throat. Do you still have the video? Emma nodded, though he couldn't see it. It's everywhere. Arthur sighed. Good. That matters. Emma blinked, surprised. Good. He spoke gently. It shows what happened, without your family twisting it. Emma, this isn't just about a fall. This is emotional harm. This may be financial exploitation. And the law can protect you. Emma closed her eyes. I'm not trying to ruin them. Arthur replied, standing up for yourself isn't ruining anyone. Come to my office tomorrow, Arthur continued. Bring every document you have showing what you've done for them. Emma looked at the thick folder on her lap. I have plenty. Arthur paused. Emma, listen to me carefully. You deserve respect. What they did is not normal. When she hung up, the house felt different. Not larger or smaller, just honest. She heard Lily laughing upstairs again. But for the first time, Emma didn't flinch. Tomorrow, she whispered. Tomorrow I begin. That evening, Emma sat quietly in the living room, the folder resting against her leg like a reminder of everything she had carried. She thought about Mark, about the boy who once held her hand crossing the street, now a man who barely noticed when she was hurting. She imagined his reaction when he learned she had gone to a lawyer. He would be angry, dismissive, maybe even cruel. But Emma didn't feel small anymore. "This is my life too," she murmured. "I get to protect it." Lily came downstairs later, chewing gum loudly. "Grandma, can you make dinner? I'm starving." Emma looked at her calmly. "Not tonight, Lily." Lily blinked, confused. "Why not?" Emma stood slowly, careful with her knee. "Because I'm tired, and because respect goes both ways." Lily scoffed. "You're really still on that?" Emma met her eyes. "Yes. Some wounds don't disappear overnight." Lily rolled her eyes again and stomped up the stairs. Emma watched her go, feeling no guilt for the boundaries she had finally drawn. Emma spent the night packing everything she would take to Arthur. She arranged the documents carefully, each page a quiet truth. As she worked, she realized something important. This wasn't revenge. This was reclaiming the dignity she had slowly lost. She whispered to the empty room, "I'm not done yet." In that moment, she felt the first true peace she had felt in years. The next day, she would walk into Arthur's office not as a victim, but as a woman finally standing up for herself. The next morning, Emma dressed slowly, choosing a soft blue sweater and her small pearl earrings. They reminded her of a time when she felt valued. She held the folder close as she stepped outside. The air was cold but clean, and for once, she welcomed the chill. At Arthur's office, he stood to greet her. "Emma," he said warmly, "take your time. You're safe here." She sat down carefully, placing the folder on his desk. Her hands trembled slightly, but her voice stayed steady. "I'm ready, Arthur. Show me what comes next." Arthur opened the folder and scanned the documents slowly. "Emma," he said, eyes tightening, "this is years of support." She nodded. "They needed help, so I helped." Arthur sighed. "Helping is good. Being used is not." He lifted another receipt. Tuition payments, house support, groceries, medical bills. "Emma, this isn't small." She swallowed. "I know. I just never thought I'd need proof." Arthur leaned forward. "You've carried them for a decade. Now it's time to carry yourself." He clicked the video file on his computer. Even in that quiet office, Lily's bright laughter felt sharp. Emma looked away as her body hit the porch step on the screen. Arthur shook his head. "A judge will not like this. Not one bit." Emma whispered, "It hurt more than I expected." Arthur softened. "It should have never happened. And it should have never been posted." He sat back. "Emma, this case is strong. Stronger than you think." Emma took a slow breath. "Then let's move forward." They spent the next hour going through details. Dates. Payments. Moments Emma had forgotten, but her papers remembered. When they finished, Arthur folded his hands. "I'll file the first motion today. Your son will be notified soon." Emma nodded, steady as stone. "Thank you." Arthur gave a small smile. "Emma, you're braver than you think." She stood to leave, leaning slightly on her cane. "I'm just tired of being hurt." He nodded. "Then today is the day you stop being quiet about it." When Emma got home, the house felt colder than before. Lily's jacket was still on the couch, and Mark's empty coffee mug sat where he'd left it days earlier. She placed her purse down, listening to the silence. For the first time, she didn't feel defeated by it. She gathered her notebook and sat at the table to write everything Arthur asked for: dates, events, comments that hurt, moments she had swallowed. As she wrote, she whispered, "This is not for them. This is for me." Lily came downstairs just as Emma finished writing. "Grandma, did you go somewhere this morning?" she asked, chewing gum loudly. Emma looked at her calmly. "Yes. I visited someone who listens." Lily blinked. "Who?" Emma didn't hesitate. "A lawyer." Lily's gum froze mid-chew. You did what?" Emma placed the folder on the table. "I'm protecting myself, Lily." The girl stared at the papers, fear creeping into her face. "Grandma, are you serious?" Emma nodded once. "I've never been more serious." Lily took a step back. "You're not really going to, sue us, right?" she whispered. Emma didn't raise her voice. "I'm holding you accountable." Lily shook her head. "But Dad will freak out." Emma replied gently, "Your father has had many chances to fix this. He chose silence." Lily sank into a chair, unsure of what to say. Emma stood tall, her voice steady. "Respect is not optional, Lily. Not anymore." Lily swallowed hard, finally realizing something had changed in the house. Less than an hour later, Mark burst through the door, his steps angry and loud. "Mom!" he shouted. "We need to talk." Emma stepped out from the kitchen, wiping her hands calmly. "I assumed we would." Mark pointed at the folder. "What is this? Lily said you went to a lawyer." Emma folded her arms. "I did." Mark scoffed. "Mom, come on. This is ridiculous." Emma shook her head slowly. "No, Mark. What's ridiculous is how you've let your daughter treat me." Mark paced back and forth. "You're overreacting. It's a stupid clip." Emma's voice stayed level. "It's not about the video. It's about years of being treated like I don't matter." He pinched the bridge of his nose. "You're our mother. Of course you matter." Emma's eyes sharpened. "Then why did no one help me? Why did no one check if I was hurt?" Mark opened his mouth, but no excuse came. "Mom," he said finally, "don't do this." Emma replied, "You already did this." Mark leaned forward, lowering his voice as if authority could soften the truth. "If you go through with this, don't expect us to stay around." Emma inhaled slowly. "I've been alone for a long time, Mark." He froze, confused by her calm. Lily stepped beside him, eyes red. "Grandma, please," Emma's voice stayed steady. "I love you both. But love without respect is just noise." She lifted the folder with quiet strength. "And I'm done living in noise." Mark had no words left. The next morning, Emma rose before the sun, not from pain but from a strange calm that settled over her. She made tea slowly, letting the steam warm her face. The house was quiet, but for once, the silence didn't feel heavy. It felt earned. She packed the documents neatly into her bag. "Today," she whispered, "I stand for myself." When she opened the door, the cold morning air wrapped around her like a reminder that bravery sometimes arrives quietly. By the time Emma reached Arthur's office, he already had the paperwork ready. "Emma," he said, rising to greet her, "the judge scheduled a preliminary hearing. It will be simple. Just truth." She nodded slowly. "Truth is all I have left." Arthur placed a gentle hand on her arm. "It's enough." They walked toward the courthouse together. Emma's knee ached with every step, but her heart felt steady, stronger than it had in decades. "Whatever happens," she murmured, "I'm not afraid." Inside the courthouse, the air felt thick with seriousness. Mark and Lily waited with their attorney, both looking unsettled. Mark avoided Emma's eyes, but Lily couldn't. She watched her grandmother walk in with a mixture of fear and guilt. When Emma sat down, the judge entered, an older man with steady eyes and a voice that filled the room without shouting. Everyone stood. Everyone sat. And in that moment, Emma finally felt seen. The judge listened as Arthur presented the documents, the video, and Emma's written account. Not once did Emma interrupt. She simply let the years speak for themselves. When the judge watched the video, he paused at the sound of Lily's laughter echoing through the courtroom speakers. The room felt colder. "Miss," the judge said to Lily, "did you offer help after this fall?" Lily's voice trembled. "No, sir." "And you found this amusing?" She nodded, tears filling her eyes. "Yes, sir. But I regret it." Then the judge turned to Mark. "Mr. Ward, did you knowingly accept financial support from your mother without repayment or acknowledgement?" Mark stiffened. I knew some of it." Arthur rose. "Your Honor, the records show he knew all of it." The judge exhaled deeply through his nose. "Mr. Ward, financial support without accountability becomes exploitation." Mark stared at the floor, his shoulders heavy with shame. For the first time, he realized how much he had taken for granted. After a long silence, the judge issued his decision. Emma felt her breath catch as he spoke. "This court recognizes the emotional harm and neglect shown toward Mrs. Clark." He ordered Lily to attend a structured program in elder care and complete community service hours. Lily sobbed quietly, But Emma didn't gloat. She simply watched, hoping the lesson reached a place deeper than fear. Then the judge turned to Mark. You will repay a portion of the financial support and will no longer have access to your mother's accounts. The judge continued, a temporary protective order is placed to ensure Mrs. Clark is not pressured or threatened in any way. This court stands with her dignity. Emma closed her eyes briefly. Not to hide tears, there were none this time, but to let the weight lift from her chest. For years she had been treated like furniture in her own life, something silent and expected. But today, she had been acknowledged. Today, she had been heard. When the hearing ended, Emma rose slowly from her seat. Her knee clicked softly, but she didn't mind. As she walked past Mark and Lily, neither spoke. Lily's face was red and wet with tears. "Grandma," she whispered. Emma stopped but didn't turn fully. "Lily," she said gently, "I hope you grow from this." Mark swallowed hard. "Mom, I didn't think it was this bad." Emma looked at him with tired eyes. "That was the problem, Mark. You never thought." Emma returned home later that afternoon, stepping into a house that felt somehow brighter. Not because anything had changed, but because she had. She set her purse down, smoothed the wrinkles on her skirt, and took a long breath. She looked at her husband's photo on the mantel. "George," she whispered, "I finally stood up." She made tea slowly, letting the quiet wrap around her, but this time the silence felt peaceful, not lonely. It felt like victory without bitterness. At sunset, Emma sat on the porch, the same porch where she had fallen, and watched the sky turn soft shades of gold and pink. The wood still held memories of pain, but now it held strength too. She whispered to herself, "I won't disappear again." She knew reconciliation might come someday, or it might not. But she had reclaimed something more important, her dignity. And she hoped anyone who heard her story would remember one truth: you are never too old to stand up for yourself.